Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be describing why I'm bullish Bitcoin and why I feel like everyone should have a little bit of portfolio allocation towards Bitcoin. First of all, I'm not a financial advisor, so you do your own research, but I will like to tell you what I'm doing currently with my portfolio, and hopefully this could be an educational video for you guys if you are looking into investing into Bitcoin. So my first point is the macro. If you look into the macro right now, central banks all around the world, they keep printing money or fiat money, and if they keep doing this, all rare assets like gold and Bitcoin will rise in value against the fiat money. So basically, anyone who is holding cash will be the loser, and anyone who has assets, hard assets, so that could be real estate, rare painting, that could be an agricultural land, and that could be Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a scarce asset. As you guys know, every 4 years there's a halving event, which makes it rarer every as the year goes by. As well as gold. Gold has been performing really well since the beginning of the year. So this is one of the reasons why I'm really bullish Bitcoin, and I feel like if you compare Bitcoin in comparison to gold, the biggest difference is Bitcoin is still a really small market. I believe it's around 262 billion right now, and gold is probably, I believe, 3 to 4 trillion. Don't quote me on that, but it's definitely at least 5 to 6 times more. And I feel like the way the future is going on right now, most of the millennials, the Gen Zs, they won't be investing in gold. They will be investing in Bitcoin, and I feel like Bitcoin will be taking the market share of gold in the near future. And this upcoming next year, where if you look into the stock to flow model, it's really bullish for Bitcoin. Just like in 2017, there was a huge bull run. I feel like in 2021, there's a really good chance that Bitcoin's gonna have a huge run, and not just because of the 4 year halving event. You could see in the news as well. There was a recent news that came on Fidelity, regarding Fidelity, and there's a couple of news sources who posted this, but this one caught my eye the most, by Forbes, where the writer says Fidelity is a 1,000 pound Bitcoin gorilla in the making. So this is where he says that Fidelity filed paperwork with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to create a new fund dedicated entirely to Bitcoin, which will require a minimum investment of $100,000. So right now, what we are seeing is most of these bull runs are happening because of retail investors, as well as there's a bit of institution buying. But if Fidelity comes into this in this space, I feel like there'll be high net worth individuals who would also be a part of this bull run, and who would help in increasing the price of Bitcoin in the long run. So here it says that the likely logic behind Fidelity's decision is better margins and pre-existing formula for success via industry leader Grayscale. So we already have a Bitcoin trust by Grayscale, and it's I believe the symbol is GBTC. So it says Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust caters to high net worth individuals and institutions, and has seen its assets under management balloon over the past few years, now topping almost $5 billion. So you can imagine GBTC, which is fairly unknown in comparison to Fidelity, already has a asset under management with almost 5 billion. So you can imagine if Fidelity comes into the market, it could be this end of this year, or it could be next year. You could see Bitcoin's price balloon and keep going higher. The really interesting part about this article was this thing right here, this part right here, where it says that additionally, Bitcoin, the Boston investment giant has 8.3 trillion of assets under management, which in theory, if even a small portion of their clients bought into the new Bitcoin fund, it would not take long before Fidelity would rival Grayscale. For example, 1% of client assets into their Bitcoin fund would give it $83 billion in assets under management. That is greater than 16 times of Grayscale. So that's crazy if you think about it in terms of market cap. If Fidelity's fund proves successful, the price implication for Bitcoin are quite clear. For example, back in June of 2020, analyst Kevin Rook determined that Grayscale's trust was buying Bitcoin faster than it could be mined post-halving. So in June of 2020, BTC added to GBTC since halving. So there was 19,879 Bitcoin added into the GBTC fund, Grayscale fund, and there was only 7,081 Bitcoin mined in that particular week of June of 2020. So as the article mentions, given Bitcoin currently has a market cap of 208 billion and just underwent its third halving, the aforementioned scenario could easily happen again if Fidelity's fund gains traction. So as you can see, this is a huge news for Bitcoin, and some people are a believer of the stock to flow model, and even if you don't believe in it, we can know that the Bitcoin, the price prediction for Bitcoin is that by the end of this year, it should be going around 20,000. So this is right here. Actually, it should be more than 20,000. So it should be 22,777 December of 12. So if this stock to flow model is correct, it's predicting that by the end of this year, it's going to be above 20,000. And so far, it has been really close. So this is the red dot, which was the last red dot. And I believe it was at 11,331. And I believe the stock to flow 463 days moving average was 13,492. Some might be wondering why it's mentioned as 463 days moving average. So I think it has to do with the Bitcoin community believing that when this 4-year cycle starts, there's a 463-day bull run, and then I believe the last days, I'm not sure how many days would that be, maybe 40 or 50 more days of that 4 years. There's a bear market. In any case, by the end of this year, we will know if the stock to flow model is correct, and if it is, it will be around 20,000, and you don't have to wait that much longer. It's already August 29, so we have almost 4 more months before we can test this stock to flow model. I do believe there is some merits towards it, but again, if there is another liquidity event just like we had in March where the stock market crashed, and that since Bitcoin is also traded in the derivatives market, which is the options market, and if there's a liquidity event, hedge fund managers will have to liquidate all their other assets, which would be Bitcoin or gold or whatever. So whenever there's a liquidity event, all assets go to zero and everyone goes back to cash. So that in that particular scenario, the US dollar spikes up or goes up. But I mean, it's possible that in the next 4 months, it is possible. Maybe if Joe Biden wins the election, there's a chance that the stock market might have a correction. But I am still in doubt if there would be a liquidity event because of that. We could see a pullback of maybe 5 to 10%. Right. And I just wanted to end with Bitcoin's current price. So as of right now, it's I believe it's 2:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's at 11,543. I'm planning to add more by next week. So on the 1st of September, I'm going to be adding more. And I just wanted to show you guys how much I have right now. So I have about 1.27 or I guess you can round it up to 1.28 bitcoins, and I plan to add more once I get my paycheck. Anyways, if you wanted to look more into the macro reasons why you should be investing in Bitcoin, and what's happening with the monetary policy by the central banks, this is a great tweet storm by Pompliano, Anthony Pompliano. He has a podcast as well, and he's the co-founder and partner of Market and Creek Digital. So where he starts off with saying how the rich keep getting richer and the poor getting poorer, and how they devalue the dollar and makes the asset prices goes up. So these all things are really bullish for Bitcoin. Now you might be wondering, so what is the bearish case for Bitcoin? My opinion is that the only way Bitcoin price goes down, or the gold price goes down, is when they make sure the central bank, the Federal Reserve of Bank of US, decides that they're not going to be devaluing their currency. They're going to make it harder to devalue. I seriously doubt that would be the scenario, because if that's the case, then that will be an austerity measure which will create a temporary shock in the economy and would create a lot of unemployment and a lot of problems for everyone, not only the rich people but as well as the middle class and lower class people, because they would be losing jobs as well. So I just wanted to finish off by this tweet thread, and it's a really good tweet. You guys watch it and let me know. In any case, I will be posting more videos about Bitcoin. This is more of a personal journey, and I'm gonna be documenting it for myself just so that maybe I can see it in a few years. If you did find anything informational about it, or you got some educational kick out of it, just give me a like, and see you next time.